don't draft women because then we can't repopulate. Is that kind of the argument?
Yeah, that was one of them, yeah.
Okay, what if we only draft like 100, or excuse me, not 100, 1 million women?
Okay, so you want to put a marker on we can draft 1 million women and unlimited men. Wouldn't that also not be equal under your eyes?
No, just like say 1 million women, 1 million men. Or 10 million women, 10 million men. That would be equal.
And if they can prove that those 1 million women are competent and would advance the war just as much as those 1 million
Probably
men?
not, but
exactly, that's my point.
Them.
No, but that's my point.
No, but equality, we still draft them.
But wouldn't you want, in a war, the people
then
going to war...
Then why do we have women for the volunteer force, which you're in favor of?
Because I do believe that the women who are volunteering know that they can provide quite a bit to the war. They're not just like,
Really?
Well, I would assume so. Why would a woman volunteer if she's not certain that she can provide some type of,
Well, I mean, people volunteer for all kinds of reasons. Some people do it for financial reasons. Perhaps they're coming from very low socioeconomic position. Getting into the military can be helpful in that way. Perhaps people want an experience, discipline. They want to serve their country.
That's true, but I don't think most women would put their lives on the line and have that be their number one option. Just volunteering just because, like, shits and gigs. Like, I want to volunteer,
Okay. Right. So I haven't really heard a compelling reason, at least from the feminist standpoint, as to why women shouldn't be drafted.
But why would you want women to be drafted is my question as a man.
For the sake of equality.
But wouldn't you want your country to, like, do good in war, not just for the sake of equality?
So if I make that same argument about, like, the workforce, would you call that a sexist statement?
With what exactly?
Would it be a sexist statement? I'm not arguing this, but the same argument you're making about, well, wouldn't you want the best for the war effort? Couldn't you just make that argument about the volunteer force, so women can't join the military? You could say about policemen, police officers, firefighters, etc.
I'm not really catching your drift.
You said
you don't want women,
so
you're trying to exclude women from other workforces is what you're asking me?
Well, you said, wouldn't you want the best people?
Yes, for the war, yeah. Because because like if we lose the war, is that not a big deal?
That'd be a big deal.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like, but let's put equality to the side in terms of the war, because the war is really going to affect all of society, not just man or woman.
But you could even draft women into positions of, for example, not frontline soldiers.
Cybersecurity. Yeah, and if you can prove that those women are competent and they can do that, then yeah, go ahead.
That still wouldn't really be equality, but it would be closer. It wouldn't, but
that would be good, yeah.
It would be closer to equality.
Exactly.
And actually, most positions in the military are not frontline combat positions. So I wouldn't, so I'm just a little confused here.
What are you confused about if we just agreed on the same point? Just because I label myself as a feminist and I have the same opinion within this as someone who's not a feminist? But it seems like
when you want equality
only
because
when I've made that clear.
Women.
I've made that clear that I don't want it when it just suits women. I want it when it benefits society.
Well, so then you acknowledge...
Is that really hard to understand?
A little bit. So then you acknowledge that there's an inequality that's currently impacting men, because men are the only sex that are required to register for the Selective Service.
Yeah, that's an inequality in terms of, if one sex has to go to war,
so your solution then is to get rid of the draft?
My solution to that would just be, let's not go to fucking war. Well, that would make shit equal.
Yeah, war bad.
But obviously that's exactly. But since that's not a realistic thing that the U.S. will do, and that's why we're just continuing.
What if it has nothing to do with the U.S.? What if there's a belligerent force like China or Russia or something?
Okay, well, either way.
Beaten Cheeks donated $300. Here is a point. Feminism should have never been brought upon society by evil men pushing women to become babyless career boss B words. In the West now, what are women currently oppressed on? I'll wait.
Beaton, I'll ask that later. Are you... Okay. So assuming we can't get rid of war, assuming there had to be a draft...
Exactly.
Do you acknowledge the current inequality that exists?
Yes,
and shouldn't
you've asked me that question
shouldn't you as a feminist be desirous of moving towards egalitarianism and equality?
Yeah, I've made that clear. No.
Can I ask it a different way?
Yeah.
What would a victory for the feminist movement look like, or your view of feminism? Like
what's my view of feminism?
Yes, or like what is an injustice or something wrong in America that you would like to see remedied or cured with your view of feminism.
Okay, I can get real specific with it. I work in the healthcare field, and I see a lot of inequality within that. So that's one way where I'm a feminist, where I can see, okay, women aren't being treated the best way within the healthcare field specifically. They don't have the same rights as a man does.
Wait, can you elaborate on that?
Do you mean patients or the
patients?
employees?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, can you elaborate what you mean? Like, what is the inequality?
Patient care, a man as a patient versus a woman as a patient, very different.
Can you articulate it a little further?
Women don't have the same care as a man.
Isn't it the case that women see doctors more frequently? They get more. They're more likely to go visit a doctor.
Yeah, that's 100% the case. But that's because they're not getting adequate care. That's why they have to keep seeing new specialists, new people.
Wait. I don't think that's the reason. I think women just tend to care about our bodies, and men only care when they're on their deathbed. That's like the typical reasoning.
Women, like for like Medi-Cal or whatever. I don't know what it's called.
The reimbursables for women are like 7 to 1.
They're more likely to use.
Especially under 50 women.
But it's taken me like 6 months just to get a checkup, like just.
I don't think that's because you're
standard.
a woman, though.
You don't think so? Okay.
I think that. Why would it be because you're a woman?
I don't know. Maybe because women's health care is harder to get. I'm not sure. That's
so
just
you're talking
me
like your
shooting in the dark.
OBGYN?
No, just primary care physician.
Why would
actually.
that? Why would that be because you're a woman, though?
It actually might be because I have shitty health care.
It also could be because we're just brought a couple million people from the third world into this country.
Yeah.
That
kind of creates long lines, but that's a separate issue.
Well, could you elaborate a little further on the healthcare thing, though?
Do you want me to just keep going, listing examples?
Well, you said women have, I don't know if you said rights, like women have X that men don't.
Yeah, women are behind in the healthcare field. So that's something I would want to see women progress in.
Like in nursing?
No, as a patient. I've made that clear.
Oh, as patients?
Yes.
How are they behind?
A woman doesn't get the same adequate care from her primary doctor, from her specialist, from whatever person that a man would, and that's been statistically proven.
I'm in
the healthcare field. I see this firsthand. I'm told about this by my coworkers, by my actual patients, by the people I work with. So that's just my experience. So you asked me for a specific example about feminism, and that's what I gave you.
So what would solve that?
Honestly, I'm not an expert within the healthcare field to be able to say you need to do this, this, and that. But I just believe that there is something that could be done.
Do you think that women sometimes might be overemphasizing a condition that might not be a big deal?
No, I don't think so. I mean, yeah, possibly person to person. There's many women who could do that. There's many men who would do that. How is that relevant?
No, because the survey you're citing is that women think they're not getting the care that they deserve when I think they actually are, and then some. But you're right, men will not go to the doctor unless they're missing a limb, where a woman will call their doctor as soon as they have a sniffle or a sneeze or a cough. And so they engage in the healthcare system more often. So when you have more interactions and more touch points, you'll have more people who think that there's an injustice when there really isn't.